Our story continues off with Deku. Now, Deku, he's walking away from knocking that guy out, as he did tie them up to a pole. So while walking away, Genos is like, "Are you sure you don't want to take me in as your apprentice? I can pay you." As Deku, he'll pause. He's like, "Pay me." As he starts thinking about it before saying that, "Yeah, sure, kid. I might think about it." As he jumps off, or just speed walks away, or speed runs. I don't really know what to call it. I'm pretty sure it's called speed walking. But anyway, or we'll say dashing. I don't want to make it too similar to Saitama. But anyway, Genos is the only character that I'm adding in. Also, the reason why I'm making Deku an adult, I'm pretty sure I already gave you guys this in the intro, but the reason why I'm making Deku an adult in this one is because people already do it, and Deku isn't really that old, so I'm not gonna age him down. So yeah. Now I also will be shipping him with a girl from Class 1A, most likely 2, 3, maybe a harem, who knows? But yeah. Anywho, continuing on. So, Deku, we would cut to Deku. Now, actually, no, we would cut to Uraka. Uraka's Pav, I'm pretty sure it's called Pav, point of view. So basically, she's running to the school as all she's seen was a blur punch the villain in the face, and the villain going flying. So, yeah. Now she would get there, see the guy tied up, and they're like, some dude with green hair tied him up here. She would take him in, and she's like, wonder if he was a hero. Now we're gonna switch to Deku's Pav, sorry. Now, we're gonna say like a week passed. And now, Deku, he's looking at his, basically some papers. He's trying to find a new house because his nagging landlord, basically they're just starting to get too annoying. Now, then something would start to go down on the news. Deku, he would look up as basically a reporter is freaking out about a mass villain attack. But not a mass villain attack. Yeah, I guess a mass villain attack. Basically, she's talking about how a villain with a very, very dangerous quirk is attacking the entire city. He's using airways and ACs and air ducts to basically infect people with this gas. As Deku's like, gas. As he's looking in, basically, they say that his name is the mustard gassed villain. As Deku's like, that seems dangerous. As he would get up saying, well, it's hero time. As he'd walk off. Now, Deku, well, in my parts of What If, it's not really anything. It's just gonna be Deku dealing with villain attacks and becoming a hero, or signing up to be a hero soon, but we'll talk about that later on. Now, Deku, he's walking off, and he's walking down streets. The streets are completely evacuated. As while he's looking around, he sees people. Actually, we're gonna say he's continuing to walk. So, Deku would turn a corner as he sees people breaking into stores and fighting police officers. You can see how injured the police officers are, and heroes, low-ranking heroes, because of the gas. They find it hard to breathe. So, this isn't just mustard gas, by the way. There's other stuff like tear gas and all that other stuff that this villain is releasing. So we're just going to call him the gas villain, or just Mr. Mask. We'll call him Mr. Mask. So, yeah. Now, Mr. Mask is a leader of a villain organization, and he's attacking the city since All Might has retired. Now, he's attacking the city of Japan. Not city of Japan, what the fuck am I talking about? Basically, he's attacking and he's trying to rob a bunch of stores with his underlings. Now, heroes and cops are having trouble getting through this because some of them have quirks where basically they don't have like masks or anything on, so it's hard for them to breathe because of the tear gas and other gases mixed in with this. It's a very powerful substance. Now Deku's walking through this like, as he's like, it is kind of hard to breathe. As he starts to pat on his face, as Deku would put his finger up towards the sky, as he would release, I don't want to say Delaware Smash, but we're going to say, since Deku is still a fan of All Might, even though All Might's retired, we're going to say that he calls it that. So Deku will release a flick. Actually, no, Delaware Smash is the punch. I forgot which one. I'm pretty sure Delaware Smash is the flick. Don't really know, but Deku will release a powerful flick into the sky. Actually, no, we're gonna let this one continue on. So, retcon all that. Deku's continuing to walk. Now, while looking around, Deku, he sees that the cops are having hard times, as he's like, well, I guess it's time to pick this up. Or basically not pick this up, clean this up. Sorry about that. So Deku, he would basically start to dash around, hitting the villains in the back of their necks and knocking them out. Now Deku would do this in less than a fraction of a second, or yeah, since he wasn't using his full power, he wasn't even using above like 1%, so yeah, Deku did this in less than a second. We'll say less than a millisecond. Yeah, let's continue to buff Deku. He does this in less than a millisecond. So yeah. Deku just knocked out all these people as he's scratching his head like, huh. And while he was dashing around the area, since Deku was moving with such kinetic force, he was dragging air particles. And those air particles made basically sonic booms, so he did manage to clear the area or this part of the city from mustard gas just by dashing around hitting villains in the back of their necks. So yeah. Now, Deku isn't really wearing a hero costume right now. He's just wearing, basically, just some jogging pants and a jogging shirt. So, like, I don't even know if there's a such thing as a jogging shirt, but let's just continue on with it. But he's just wearing just some jogging stuff. Now, Deku still has hair, by the way. He's not bald. Now, anyway, Deku, he would continue to walk on as he's looking around, and he sees that basically, yeah, he basically cleared this part of the city as he would jump off. The cops, or basically a lady cop, looking at him and almost trying to ask him what he just did, but, you know, he disappeared. This lady cop may be added to his harem, but that's just a maybe. So, yeah. After this, Deku, he's walking as... Actually, we're going to say that he's on the roof of a building. So he's looking at the rest of the city, and he's also seeing that the area that he just cleared off is starting to be filled with mustard gas. So, not mustard gas, but just gas in general. So, the gas takes a greenish color, by the way, so yeah. Now, Deku, he's like, huh, gotta find the culprit. As Deku would begin to run across the city, moving faster than the speed of light, I mind you, he's looking for this one character, or this one guy, as basically, he would finally find them. Now, when Deku finally stops, a huge sonic boom would sound, as basically, the multiple pieces of the city would start to be, you know, falling apart. Like, not falling apart, but Deku did destroy multiple roads and other things. But it's not like he's gonna get caught for it. And he does feel kind of bad, but, you know, all in the day's work for justice. You know, the city can repair those. But Deku did cause damage while running around, because moving at that speed, dragging that many air particles, yeah, bad. Are molecules, not air particles. A molecule is basically just neutron. I don't know very much about the science, but yeah, he's just dragging a lot of that shit. So it would destroy a lot of the area where he ran. Now the guy's like, who the f are you? As Deku's looking at this guy like, huh, if I remember correctly, you're that one guy who attacked Class 1-8 during their forest training, right? As he's like, wait, what? And Deku would say, weren't you put in prison or something? With him saying, whatever, as he would put up, I would say like a revolver towards Deku's face, as he would blast it, and Deku would dodge the shot. Now, Deku would basically put his fist, or ball his fist up, and he would say, welp, or anyway, as he would say, I mean, Deku doesn't really name his moves yet. I'll think of names for him, but he would throw a couple of normal punches. Now, these are just like Saitama's consecutive normal punches. He's just throwing multiple of them, hitting this guy over and over, before throwing an uppercut, knocking him out of the building. Now, after dealing with this villain attack, Deku, basically, after just defeating Mask, Deku would just tie him up on a rail, as police would start to look around, and they would find him. As they're like, you caused damage to the city, and he's like, that wasn't me. And, you know, yeah, he's still gonna get charged for what Deku did. But Deku's like, all in the day's work for justice. So, nothing really bad happened. Now, that was that. We'll be getting into something else. We'll get into some other parts of the story. Let's give Deku an harem, why not? So, anyway, Deku, basically he's walking down this street. He's looking at the workers rebuild the street, and since they live in a society of quirks, it'll be relatively fast, so they're almost done. Deku's like, I kind of feel bad now, as he would bump into someone. Now, they would lift their head up, them trying desperately to hide themselves, or their identity, most likely. Actually, I don't really think heroes would do that. So, yeah. Basically, this is, nah, never mind. Basically, he would bump into Uraraka. Now, he would look down at her. Deku's 44. Uraraka is a few months younger than Deku, and Uraraka's also still single, which, yeah, Deku, Aram, you guys know where I'm taking this. But, yeah. Now, after bumping into Uraraka, Deku's like, oh, you're that one hero who was fighting against that one villain, or that one gigantification villain. As he would say, you have a pretty impressive quirk. And he would also be talking about her feats at the sports festival, which happened a few years ago. So he's just like, is this guy a fan? With Deku saying, oh, I mean, I guess you can call me a fanboy, but kind of not a boy, but I guess you can call me a fan man. Him trying to be funny, but, not catching, a laugh. But Deku saying, nah, I went to the same school as you, and I was there when you fought against an old friend of mine. As he would say, Katsuki, yeah, she probably doesn't remember me, but, I was there during your tournament match. As he would say, so, how is the number 10 hero doing nowadays? Uraraka climbed pretty high in the ranks. Her quirk is pretty powerful, so I'll rank her high. Back to the story. She would say, sorry, I can't really talk. She got things to do. She would walk off, and she would say, an interesting fellow. Not seeing Deku's actions as weird. Now, Deku's like, well, I guess I should get back to shopping. Their relationship won't grow fast, by the way, so yeah. Now, Deku would continue to walk around the city, and he would finally bump into someone. Now, he would bump into Genos, or Hatsume Kai. Now, basically, they're like, oh, sensei, with Deku looking down at them saying, don't call me that, and them saying, anyway, did you think of it? With, Deku saying, I mean, how much money are you going to be paying me to train you? With Genos being part of a hero, or his mother being a hero, she's pretty rich, and she also would approve this if they're powerful. So, Genos would say that he could pay him around $100 a day. With Deku just looking down at him saying, $100 a day, huh? Nah. Deku's like, sure. And Deku would sadly look to his left, saying that's more money than I make a week. I'm just kidding. Deku doesn't... If you add up 7 days... Not day. I might change that. I might think of an actual job. I'll think of the money later. But Deku, he'll accept. And Genos would... Yeah. Now... Deku... He would open this door the next day, and he's looking down at Genos. And he's like, huh? As Genos has bags, and he's staring right up at Deku, and Deku would close the door, so he would walk away. Now, Genos would start banging on the door, as Deku would open it, and Genos would start saying that, basically, he's going to be moving in, and Deku would shut the door again. And, the same sequence of events would happen. Genos would bang on the door, Deku would open it, and he's like, kid, didn't your mom ever tell you not to live with strangers? With, Genos saying, nah, not really. With him being a straightforward guy, he would answer this like, him not really having a sense of humor, by the way. Because Deku said, didn't your mom ever tell you not to live with strangers? And, he would say, no, not really. Deku just saying, alright, this kid's trying to fuck with me. But, yeah. Deku is being paid a lot of money, and he does have some room in his house, and he does get kind of lonely, so why not? With him making sure that he has permission to live here, a note from Hatsume herself, plus an autograph, which Deku's like, he would put that away, and Genos would start to live with him. Or Hatsume no Kai. Not Hatsume no, but Hatsume Kai. No, anyway. Now I can start using this picture. We're gonna get into one more villain attack before we get into Deku's next event, or we end this video. Now, Genos is still in junior high. There are a few months before his time ends. Now, we're gonna be switching to Genos' prof. Genos, or Kai, per se, Basically, his quirk is known as, I don't really have a good quirk idea for him, but it's called mechanize. He can mechanize parts of his body into basically mechanical parts. He can turn his arms into mechanical weapons like, Jax from Mortal Kombat or, Genos from, One Punch Man, which he is Genos. So, yeah. His quirk came mostly from his father, since his mother doesn't really have a quirk that basically goes with gadgets. So his quirk comes from his father instead of his mother. Now, anywho, that's Genos' quirk. Now, let us get into it. Genos is walking home, or not walking home, he's walking to school from his new home, which is with Deku. Deku, who is still trying to get used with living with a kid, and, getting odd looks from women around his apartment. Deku's just like, fuck. As he's walking off with Genos. They're basically leaving the house together. Now, Deku's like, alright, kid. As he's gonna actually train Genos in this one, unlike Saitama, which I'm pretty sure Saitama didn't really train Genos. He's just letting Genos live with him. And rent is pretty high in Tokyo, which is where Deku lives, I'm assuming. So, yeah, it's pretty high, and, he needs some help. And this kid, it's offering him money, so why not? So, yeah. Deku's like, alright, kid, we'll be going to do, I guess, combat training for now, as Deku doesn't really know how to teach someone. So he's like, so I'm just gonna test your combat abilities, with Genos saying, are you sure? I don't want to hurt you, with Deku looking down at him and just laughing, as he's like, no one's been able to hurt me for a long time. 4 years exactly. Deku hasn't really had a challenge since, he hit the halfway mark of his training, which is 2 years. So, yeah, Deku's kind of broken now. So, like I said, Deku can move faster than the speed of light, he can punch so hard that he can break the moon, and a bunch of other stuff. Deku can punch so hard that he can destroy these, not even at his full power. Deku can, which we don't even know what Saitama's full power is, because we never seen it, but, yeah. No, Deku would tell Genos, to meet him back at the apartment. Hold on, guys. But anyway, let's continue on. So, Genos would go to school. He'd meet with his friends. Hold on. I'll have to end it off here, you guys. So, yeah, we'll get into Genos' training next part. 100 likes again for the next part.